Hey, good people. Welcome to another episode of Tales from the Shaker. Let me tell you, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to have a discussion, a topical discussion. And so you know that I listen to you when you give me your suggestions, when I ask you, what do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? This was the idea that I received actually from this lady. We're going to have a discussion about anxiety in these stressful times. And there's a lot going on in our world, and you still got to manage your life. Many of us have dealt with some form of anxiety, whether just anxious over life circumstances or whether we actually have a clinically significant level of anxiety. So these beautiful women have committed to being candid, and like all our conversations, we don't know where they're going to go. So come along for the ride. I guarantee you that there will be something that will inspire you to shake something up in your life. Go for therapy. Feel seen, something you will connect to in this story. I also want to say, myself and one of my guests, and I'm going to introduce them both shortly, are licensed professional counselors. And I want you not to get it twisted. This is not a substitute for your own therapy. This is personal conversation, maybe some information. But if you are inspired to receive therapy, then go and seek your own. Maybe this will inspire you to do such, but this episode in and of itself is not your therapy, okay? Just want to make sure you get what you need and don't get it mixed up. All right, so I'm going to introduce them briefly, tell you what I love about them and why they're here, and then we're going to see where our conversation goes. Come along for the ride with me. All right, so I'm going to talk first about my girlfriend, Therase here. I have known you. I was trying to think of when I met you, and I'm thinking it's about 12 maybe years ago.
It was about 12 years ago. We were sitting next to each other at the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Central Ohio chapter. We happened to be seated next to each other and realized I was from Chicago, born and raised, and you had also lived in Chicago and gone to school and that. And I think that is what really started to connect us.
Yeah, that was the first conversation, but it's your spirit, girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That part. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. I committed to not just reading the bio, but I want to tell you why I love Therase. She has reinvented herself a couple of times, and it's fun to watch her now engage in another passion. You're an educator now, and you've been an executive with in a corporate entity for many years, a male-dominated field, and had good reason to make some change.
Absolutely.
She's gone to school, gotten a couple of degrees. The girl is just always growing, and I love that about you. And even when we're moving forward in our lives and we're making progress and everybody on the outside sees all the good things, sometimes there's an internal struggle. And she's been candid enough to share some of that with us today. That coalition of 100 Black women that we mentioned, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, and she is now, Central Ohio chapter, the president-elect, and I know that you're going to do an amazing job.
I am excited.
Job.
Thank you.
I'm excited about that. So our other pretty girl over here on the other side, let me pull up your bio. Miss Aisha Bush is a licensed professional counselor. She calls herself the Crazy Counselor.
I do.
That is an acronym.
It is. It is.
Which I don't see in what I'm typing, what I'm reading. So I need you to tell me once more what that acronym stands for.
All right, I can do that. So the Crazy Counselor stands for creating a rational, authentic, and zealous you.
Nice. Rational, authentic, and zealous.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. And I know that you are taking your message to a number of groups, youth in particular, and I imagine that women really resonate with this authentic space, this authentic, zealous space. I certainly do. So unfortunately, I can't book an appointment with you because I know you too well now. And I have my own therapist, y'all, and she's amazing. She's currently the director of social services at a long-term care hospice facility in Columbus. Talk about empathy, heavy profession to be in, to demonstrate compassion to the families of these folks as well as those that are suffering. I'm not surprised that you're doing that. She's a veteran, y'all. The veterans are cute these days, let me tell you. Served 6 years active duty and had tours in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And gosh, where else? I saw another one, deployment to Afghanistan.
Just twice to Afghanistan, both times.
Yeah. And she sees seeking help as a sign of strength and not weakness, and I agree with that. Nice. I agree with that. So, you know a little bit about these folks. And as always, our conversation is just our conversation. I don't really know what the first question is going to be, so I'm going to see what the Lord says. What the Lord says, and we're going to start our conversation. First, I want to say, Therase, to you, what made you suggest to me that this would be a good idea to have a conversation around anxiety?
Mainly because in this current climate that we are dealing with respect to our government, and me being an educator and knowing what students are going through, and just knowing my own past experiences of what I've had to deal with in the past and what I continue to struggle with every now and then, I feel like it's a conversation that we should be having, and we should be having that conversation often.
I agree. Normalizing these conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I asked you, Aisha, to be a part of this conversation, and we've had to do a couple of reschedules to get everybody here, and you've been very enthusiastic about it. Why? Why do you think this could be useful?
Well, personally, I just really enjoy having rich conversations.
Yeah.
I don't really care for surface conversations, and I'm working on that because I know it's an art to small talk, and that's how you build and bond with people. But I think like these conversations about real things like anxiety and how we navigate that, and that people are high functioning and people are successful and people are, doing amazing work and doing amazing things, and they are struggling before they do it. Like, it's a whole thing to get ready and to prepare for it. And I just want to emphasize and highlight that they're doing it anyway.
They're doing it anyway.
So, and because I struggle with anxiety, I've struggled with anxiety for years. As a professional, I'm like, I want to be a part of this conversation. So.
And I love that. I love that you pointed out the high functioning. People who are struggling don't often look like they're struggling. Matter of fact, they look highly functional, right? How many times, and I'm not saying that anxiety is the cause of this, when we think about people that we've lost by suicide. Remember that beautiful Miss America, C.R.A.Z.Y, I remember her name. She was beautiful and accomplished and at the pinnacle. She didn't look like a person who was struggling. Robin Williams, I remember about a young man when I was in high school. He was so popular and so much fun. And I think about my own struggles. Anxiety is new to me. That's something I've been actually dealing with a bit lately as well. So I'm interested to talk about your personal experiences. But I do believe, and Dr. Judith, I should know her name. She's very popular right now, a psychologist. Do you know who I'm talking about? She's big on social media.
Face.
Really attractive woman, but she talks about high functioning depression, and that she has dealt with high functioning depression. And I really believe that's my story. She gave words to it that I didn't have before.
Interesting.
And speak to this if you would, Aisha. I see anxiety and depression many times as two sides of the same coin. There's a lot of common symptoms, right? There can be sleep disturbance and appetite disturbance and depression 101. This is not your personal story, but depression tends to slow you down, be regret oriented. Anxiety tends to speed you up and be fear oriented of what's coming.
Yes.
And it may be based on what happened in the past, right? So similar root, different expressions on the most simple level that is very simplistic. Would you think is that reasonable?
I will agree with you 100%. Because what I find is that a lot of the diagnoses, they mimic each other. You know what I mean? Like the presentations of them can be very similar. And so that's why I'm very mindful, and I tell people all the time, don't try to self-diagnose yourself, because they can mimic each other. These different presentations with anxiety and depression, it's really important to get it clinically diagnosed, go see your doctor, and do all the things, right? Because sometimes we can be having these symptoms, right? And it's not meeting all the criteria to be a true diagnosis. And what I found out is that the more self-aware we are about ourselves, what we're dealing with early on, we can learn the tools to manage what we're dealing with, and doesn't have to be diagnosable.
I agree 100%. What do you think about that? I mean, this isn't your profession, but you deal with people and you serve people.
So, and I can speak on my own experience as far as anxiety and depression. So for me, I'm able to separate the two. I deal with anxiety, though I am not depressed. And so I feel that high speed that you spoke about, where anxiety is concerned. It's an actual feeling.
Physical. Yes.
It's an actual physical feeling. And I know that depression is also a physical feeling. So I know that is not something that I struggle with, depression. The whole idea behind struggling with anxiety for me was brought on by a terrible car accident. Not necessarily because I was dealing with something where work was concerned or anything like that. It was brought on by a terrible car accident where a car hit me almost head on, and it totaled my car, and the car had more airbags in it than I realized.
Oh, wow.
Was in the
Thank
car.
goodness.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I walked away. However, a week or so later is when the anxiety began to hit. And so before that happened, I was really kind of going along life like normal. I mean, I had my struggles as a young woman, like everybody else, but nothing like that. And
What year was that? When was that?
that happened to me in October of 2018.
Okay.
A gentleman hit me coming around a corner. I was at a light, and it was raining outside. And I grabbed my steering wheel when I saw it coming, and I just yelled out, "Oh God."
Oh my goodness.
And I thought I was dead for a moment, but then I yelled out, "I'm alive, I'm alive." And I actually had my 2 grandkids in the car with me. They were much younger at the time. And I'll be honest and tell you that, even
Good girl. We got
sorry.
No apologies.
But even sometimes thinking about it and how I'm still alive. I tear up about it.
Yeah, sure. Probably from a lot of places, from the gratitude, but can you feel it?
I can feel it. I can feel how, God said you have more to do.
Oh, come on.
Okay, now, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
No, honey,
That's
no,
good.
no. This
But-
is real you.
And I believe because every now and then I have that emotion is probably why I said to you, we need to have this conversation.
Yeah.
When it first came on, I was sitting on the couch just normal, like this, a Friday night, me and my husband, and my heart started beating really fast, and I didn't know what I was experiencing, and I called out to my husband and my granddaughter, like, bring me a bottle of water. John, I think I'm having a heart attack. Like, I don't even know what a heart attack feels like, but I don't know what I was going through. And he called 911 right away. And when they came, they checked every pulse, and you know what they do with the equipment and stuff. And he looked at John and he said, you know, everything is normal. What is going on with her? As if to say, is she okay? Is she weird, or what? You know, what's her issue? And he looked at him. John looked at the gentleman, the EMT, and he said, about a week and a half ago, she got into a very bad car accident. And he said at that time, I think it's anxiety.
Did you feel validated or dismissed? Because a lot of time they're quick to say that. Did you feel like maybe that's true, or you're not paying attention to me? What was the...
So honestly, I did not really want to believe it. I didn't believe what he was saying because I'm so normal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm so me.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, once I was actually diagnosed, I still didn't want to believe it. I had my husband driving me to different hospitals.
You're doing your research. Somebody's got the answer.
They said it was anxiety.
Yeah.
You didn't believe that though. You're like, I didn't believe it. I need a second opinion.
Yeah. And so I needed not just a second opinion, but I need a third opinion. Oh. And so I had my husband drive me to these couple hospitals when this would come on, because it would come on so bam. Yeah. And it would make me feel like there was more than one person. Mm. And I would see two of things. And I'm sorry, I hope I'm answering your question.
You're telling your story. That's answering the question.
And I'm sorry, guys. It is still emotional for me. I would have a really great manager at the time who knew what I was going through, and he allowed me to work from home. And he said, work from home as long as you need, get yourself together. And so I would be at home by myself, and I would see two computers. Mm. And my husband at the time, he's a teacher also. He teaches at the Columbus Downtown High School. I began to bother him at work, hoping that he could just answer, like, I'm seeing two or three things. Yeah. And he would say, listen, they said it's anxiety. He says, why don't you try to take the medicine? And that's another thing. I'm not a medicine person. So I refused to take the medicine. Yeah. And long story short, what really got me to the point of understanding that it really was anxiety is a couple things. I'm going to wrap it up real quick. So no rush. My last stint to the hospital, he says, okay, what hospital do you want to go to today? Take me to Grant. So because I know he is very understanding, however, I know he was going through something because of me wanting him to. So we get to Grant, and, you know, this is where I learned they can see your records from all around every hospital you've been
Epic.
to.
Yep.
They can see.
Yes, they can.
So blood pressure was high, and, you know, that kind of thing, and they got me into a room right away, and the doctor comes in and he says, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know what's wrong. He said, well, I looked at your records. He said, it's anxiety. He said, you see up here, and he showed me all on the monitor things. He said, all that's high. He said, give me about 20 minutes. And when I come back, it's all going to be calmed down. Yeah. And he said to me, the reason why you're asking your husband to take you to different hospitals is because the hospital is your safe place.
You got a compassionate, didn't you?
I did.
Showed you the evidence.
He showed me
Gave
the
you some
evidence.
information.
And that night I came home and I called you.
Yeah.
And you said to me, I don't even know if you remember this, but you said to me, Therase, you're going to have to get a hold of it, because if you don't get a hold of it, it's going to get you.
I don't remember that.
And when you said it's going to get you,
You heard that.
I heard that. Because
That must have been designed for you, because I'm like, did I say that?
You said that.
What I was saying. Okay.
You
Yes.
said that.
No,
You
I
said it's
received it.
going to get you.
Yeah.
And when you said it's going to get you, I started thinking about the 2 and 3 things that I would see, and I'm thinking, okay, she means I'm about to go crazy. If I don't, listen, if I don't get this together.
If I don't get it.
Yeah.
And you said to me, I want you to do these techniques. And when you do
Just
these
like a therapist.
Yes, she said, and when you do these techniques, I want you to give me a call back. Now she's not even my counselor.
Right.
or
Not
my
at all.
doctor
But it's just
or my
natural.
friend.
It's who she is.
But I knew who to call because I knew what her title was.
Yes.
She's a coalition sister. I knew.
You knew I wasn't going to judge you. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying.
absolutely. And when she said, I want you to do these techniques, and I want you to call me in a couple days, and I want you to tell me what you think. I hung up and I thought to myself, well, I'm not going crazy. She didn't judge me. She told me how to heal myself. And so it was that hospital visit, and from that moment on, that I began to learn how to deal with it. Of course, I had a few episodes after that, but it was the start of that got me to the point of starting to heal.
I want to address a couple things before I forget. I want you to step in. We're going to do a little bit of education for the people, okay? So, first of all, I'm so thrilled that not only you are raw in sharing your story, and I know that there's more, but this whole, what hospital are you going to today? I've observed you and your husband, and that is a compassionate man who thinks the world of you. And so for him to give you that was a little piece of insight, you know, in his way that I think was useful. And I think it was the right doctor at the right time at the third hospital, right?
Yes.
Wow.
That
Third hospital.
Yeah, that you weren't invalidated. But I want to say a couple things that I think people feel. I'm thinking about, firstly, the physical symptoms of anxiety. And we feel heart racing, clammy,
Yes.
sometimes lightheaded, all of this, almost like you got to run, like you can't. And we feel like, what is wrong with me? I'm malfunctioning. I must be having a heart attack. The reality is you're hyperfunctioning.
Yes.
You're not malfunctioning. Your body is responding to a signal your brain just got that said, fear, get her protected.
Come on.
And so it moves into the lightheadedness and the racing heart is your body pumping blood to your large muscles so you can get the hell out of there.
Absolutely.
So you can fight, or you have the energy to stay still.
Yes.
It's protection. You're not malfunctioning. I said, when you got something to say to the people,
Say
it
it
to the
again
camera.
for the
You're
people in the back.
Functioning. And part of what causes us to have these panic attacks is that we're so afraid of the symptoms. You almost bring it on,
Yes.
the physical symptoms.
Yes.
The other thing we're learning as neuroscience and all is becoming to the fore of our field is everything is stored in the body. The body first, the mind second. We address the mind. We need to address the body. The body is the reservoir.
The body
For
keeps the
all-
score.
It keeps the score of our trauma, of our anxiety, of all of our experiences. And so even when we get a trigger, it's not because you're not thinking right. It's because your body first tells you something feels like the thing that set me off, I need to protect.
Yes.
And then your mind engages.
Yes.
So it's not something faulty in your mental processes. It's the body recognizes something that's familiar. And so so all these places where we judge ourselves, I thought I was healed, and here I go having another. It ain't your mind. The body remembers all the things. And it's the protection of the mind that we don't have recall of all of our experiences.
Yes.
You said you felt like you were seeing two things. That may have been your mind protecting you. We're so quick to pathologize things when this is brilliant. God knew what he was doing, right? When the body was designed, and there's so much that is functioning that because we don't understand it, we choose to think it's malfunctioning.
Yes.
And we have to start to change that. And I would love for you to speak to that self-judgment, that stigma, because I know that's part of your passion is to let's remove the stigma.
Well, I would love to speak to that. So I've been dealing with anxiety for a long time. Okay, for a very long time. And so what I found that is all those symptoms that you described, Davia, feeling like you're having a heart attack, feeling like you're going crazy, because I've dealt with that for so long, I had to realize like, oh, okay, this is my body responding. Like I had time to kind of like become more self-aware and like do the work. And so now I am just kind of like on this mission to like normalize it, that, hey, life is lifing. Life's. Okay, that's a real thing. Whatever that means to you, it might look different for everybody in different seasons of our lives. And sometimes, right, it's a little harder than other seasons. And then our bodies responds to that differently. And it might look like the just overthinking, the racing thoughts, the just sweating profusely because you're in your head about something. And so because I've dealt with that for so long, and then I had to show up anyway, for a long time, I'm like, I am going crazy. Like, this is not okay, because it's making me feel like I don't want to show up for people because I'm sweating and I'm like having all this, but I'm like, I'm not going to let this paralyze me. I can't let it paralyze me. So it's like, I need to work through it and show up anyway, and just, just kind of address it head on. And yeah, I kind of got lost with the question. What's the question?
I was say, when you were
Around
saying
stigma.
Okay.
And,
when you were talking about that whole sweating and just some of the feelings and things that you go through, I can remember at one time being at home by myself and being afraid because I was by myself and sweating, heart beating, and I went and got a cold rag, and I tried to make it as cold as I possibly could, because I said, if I fall out right here, maybe somebody go find me with this rag laying on my face and at least see that I was trying to save myself.
Yes.
And so I got a cold rag, and I laid it on my face, and I laid back on the couch and just laid there for about 30 minutes. And that cold rag at the moment, also, you may not remember this, but Davia had told me, bear down. When you feel your heart beating really fast, bear down. And so I had this rag on my face, if you can imagine, me laying back on the couch, and I'm literally bearing down while I'm laying on the couch.
it is so funny. I don't remember any of this. These are phrases I don't remember using. So I was just present with my friend.
Listen.
So bear down.
Bear down.
She told me to bear down as if I was going to the bathroom.
Okay.
And that would help.
So what I was talking about was you can't hold tension when you're in your large muscles. So your glutes, your shoulders, those things, those hold out of your tension. So if you squeeze them and release them, that might have been what I was thinking. Okay.
When you said that, bear down, it made me think of like a weighted blanket when somebody is like experiencing like high anxiety or like trauma.
Going to the bathroom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bear down.
Absolutely.
And she said, bear down, count to 10, and if you have to do it more than once, just keep doing it. And you said that it would calm things down, and it works. It works. I still do it to this day. And even when I got into counseling, and I would talk about Davia to my counselor, well, she said I should do. And she would say, all those things are good, all those things. Yeah. But she would want me to take the medicine. And I refused to take the medicine because that's just me. But that
Did you ever take it?
So that's another story.
Okay.
I traveled for work because I managed in the region. And so it was 2020. We were made to go to work after a while because of COVID and all this. And so I packed up my bag, and my husband had said to me, I know you don't want to take the medicine, but take the medicine with you anyway, just in case you need it. Okay, I take the medicine. I'm traveling by myself, which I didn't really like to do. If he's a teacher also, like I said, so in the summer he could travel with me, but in the winter I had to travel by myself. So I get to Indianapolis, and I had chosen a hotel where I could walk over this little pathway to the restaurant, and I go and I sit down, and out of nowhere, it just comes on.
It does.
And the waitress can see that I'm visibly going through something, although I'm trying to hide it. And she says to me, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine." I said, I can't eat this right now. Can you just wrap it up for me? I'll take it to my hotel room. Oh, my
goodness.
She wraps it up. I pay. I get to the hotel room, and I immediately call John. John, I'm going. And he says, "Listen, I need you to calm down. You took the medicine with you. Where's the medicine?" I'm looking through my stuff for the medicine. I grabbed the wrong bottle of medicine. Now I'm really freaking out. And I'm on the phone with him, and he says, "Listen, if you don't calm down, you're there by yourself, you're going to make it worse." John, I'm crying. I took the wrong bottle. It's not. I happen to have a bag of tea in my purse. Yogi, stress-free, Yogi stress. I think that's
Yes, I think I have some upstairs.
I know I do.
And I say to him, "I have this tea. Let me try it. I'll call you back." I get the tea, everything, and I just sat there on the side of the bed sipping the tea, and it worked.
So when you said that, it just made me speak to your question, Davy, about the stigma. So like I said, I've been dealing with anxiety for a long time. And so I was still showing up in my circles, right, from my best friends and things of that nature. And I would show up, and then I would have these moments where it will come on, like you said, like just all of a sudden you're fine, you're confident, you're feeling good, and you're with your peoples, you're with your peoples and you feel safe. So you're like, what is happening here? And so what I realized is that the people who I felt safe around and who loved me, and like they was just like, "Girl, just go find you some AC." Like it became a thing to the point where they
didn't understand.
They didn't understand. We didn't understand, but like together they made me feel like I was okay. Like, "Girl, you fine. Like it's okay. Just okay. Isha's hot again, y'all. She's going over there," and they would just take care of me, right? And so they began to normalize this for me, and it made me say, okay, I'm the one that's overly concerned with this because I'm in my head about it. But once, I just kind of like calm down, the people who love me, they don't really care. They're like, "Girl, you're all right. Like, you're still you. Just calm down. And when you come back and join the party." Right. Yeah. But so my mission was like, okay, Aisha, it's important that we normalize this. Like, people deal with anxiety, right? It's a real thing. And sometimes it shows up like you're sweating profusely and you might be looking like something is wrong. And people are like, and you can tell, like, I look like I am going through something. Like you said, the lady said, "Are you okay?"
She could see that
you could see
shaking.
it, right? And so when you're experiencing that in real time, you feel like people can see like something is wrong with you. I was dealing with that. And so again, it was beginning to paralyze me. Like, I don't want people to be thinking I'm out here crazy, you know?
Well, and that's the whole thing with the stigma part of it. When she could see that I was visibly shaking, and I said, I'm trying to wrap this up. Well, I was thinking, Lord, please don't let me fall out here in front of these people. They don't know me. I'm in this city. I'm here. You know what I mean? I was thinking that kind of thing too. Like, let me just get my food and get back to my room, because maybe she might think I'm crazy or something.
Yeah.
I was thinking that way too. Like, let me just get back
thoughts.
to my space.
And for me, it was just like, I know they see me like sweating profusely, and I'm looking around like, is anybody else sweating? Like, is anybody, and everybody's fine, cool as a cucumber. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is just me. So I know they can tell, you know. But again, I had to just process and accept this is part of my anxiety. This is a part of the season that I'm in right now. And the more I run from it, the worse it gets. When I can accept, okay, this is happening, and then I give myself permission to embrace it.
Feel what you're feeling.
Feel my feels.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I had to embrace, Davia. Yeah. Honestly, I got a shirt that says feel your feels.
Okay.
And it would calm me down. I would just take a moment, you know, I might have to go to the bathroom or whatnot, go outside, but it was okay. And I'm like, you know what? This is where I'm at right now. This is the season of my life, but guess what? I'm here. I didn't let it keep me from showing up.
Yes.
So I had to like start to celebrate like small wins for myself, because, you know, I was processing it and trying to understand and deal with it in real time, you know, so that it was super important for me to.
One of the things I'm thinking about is like, I love this growing awareness of mental health. And when we move from a place where we don't talk about it at all to get enough energy to talk about it, it's like we move from nothing to way over here. It takes a lot of energy. So we go from we don't talk about nothing to everything is diagnosable. And I don't believe that that's so. You had an accident that could have been fatal.
Yes.
And it was not. And it is reasonable that you sometimes have moments of remembrance, or your body went through some things at that moment. The airbag hit you. You had your grandbabies in the back.
Yes.
It is reasonable. And so maybe at that point in time, you moved yourself to a place where you had clinically significant anxiety. But I also want people to know that sometimes life, like you said, life be lifing. Mm-hmm. And there are things that are anxiety producing. And it is reasonable to feel anxious when something is anxiety producing. That doesn't mean that you have clinically significant anxiety. You may be in a season.
Yes.
Or same with depression.
Yes.
And so sometimes I think we over pathologize things.
Yes.
But I think that's part of the movement to balance. I think we'll get there, particularly in our community. We don't talk about these things. We keep it to ourselves. We don't want people in the street to know our stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or we go talk to the pastor. Love the pastor, I'm a Christian, but you might not be trained in this.
Yeah.
And that may not be helpful.
Yes.
And so what I'm seeing, and I love it, that in churches, you're talking about some of the things you've done at your church, that we're beginning to acknowledge that there's some things we might need to talk about.
Absolutely.
And if we talk about them, it may be that we can keep things from becoming clinically significant.
Absolutely.
Where you need medication. However, let me say just a little thing about medication. Medication is a tool that is sometimes useful.
Yes.
If it were a stomach ache or a cold or whatever, you would go take the medicine that you needed.
Yes.
To do the thing, and you wouldn't judge yourself. I remember when I had, and it was clinically significant, depression about a year after my breast cancer diagnosis. And I refused to get on a medication. I'm like, my life ain't that bad. I survived. It was a great prognosis. Every other housewife on the block is doing Prozac. I don't need it. I got Jesus. I'm cool. And I could not make progress until I finally took some medicine for about 13 months.
Were you a therapist then, Davia?
I was in therapy. My therapist recommended medication. I went to the doctor, got prescribed, and I still wouldn't do it. Because I'm like, I ain't doing the trick.
We're like kindred spirits, like right now in this moment.
Finally, I did. It was a tool. And even as a clinician, though I can't prescribe as a counselor, I work with doctors or psychiatrists. I know you get two people. You get those that make the appointment because they want a medication. They think that's going to cure them so they don't have to deal with their stuff. Yep. And then you get those that are afraid to use it that may be useful. So my benchmark, this is not therapy, y'all. Talk to your own person. My benchmark is if you're able to still function, then I need you to feel some of that stuff.
And the counselor would say to me, she would say, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's not something,
it's a tool.
Because I have so much addiction in my family.
Okay. Yep.
So that's where my mind, goes. Yep. And I forget what you said a little bit ago, but I have students that deal with anxiety. And as soon as I'm able to relate to them about my own experience, it seems like the relationship between teacher and student is
safe.
Safe.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good.
It's really, I know this isn't about teaching, but because our young folks do go through a lot these days.
Yes.
I had a student ask me one day, do you know what anxiety is? Baby, what did you just say? Do I know what anxiety is?
I got to speak to this, ma'am. Because listen, what I just heard, really, I feel like the things that we go through, honestly, sometimes it's like super hard for us, right? It's hard. It's hard. Okay, I want to say it again. Sometimes it's very hard. Where's my camera? It can be very hard sometimes. Okay, but what I'm learning is that some things is not all about us.
Yes.
Right. It's for us to be able to speak to and relate to somebody else and help them in that moment, and just remind them like, I understand what you're going through. So that moment you were honest and being vulnerable with that student, it made him feel seen and feel like, oh, okay, she's a professional. She's a student. I mean, she's a professional. She's my teacher and she's dealing with this.
I'm just as human.
Yes, that's what it speaks to. That's what it says.
I, from my faith paradigm, right, I believe in an afterlife, right, of reward. And I believe that there's, I don't know how it goes, how it happens, but we receive our crowns. Sure. And I just wonder, there's so many things we don't know, the ripple effects. We don't know those moments when you're authentic with a student and they feel seen in a world that may not see them, how many lives that saves, or how many people, where the fingers go. And I hope in heaven, I don't know how that goes. I hope we get to know. That would be amazing. There are those moments when people let you know, this mattered to me when you did this. Some of the things you've said today, I'm like, I said that. I remember that conversation. I just remember my girlfriend called and I answered.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's all I know.
And to show you how significant it was, I never forgot it.
That is so. Can I say something about that you never forgot and that you don't remember? Okay. I have a spiritual mother. Okay. She lives in Virginia and she's very much she's a God-fearing woman. Okay. She's very, just all about all of the gifts. Okay. One time she had spoke life into me about 10 years ago, probably about 10, 15 years ago now. And she said some very powerful things when I was going through a very rough time. And she does not remember to this day what she said. Okay. And I stood on those things. I stood on that for years. It helped me get through some really hard times. And I remember I told her one time, I said, Mama Vicky, Pastor Vicky, I said, do you remember when you said this? She said, girl, did I? She said, I must have been in the spirit because I don't remember saying any of that. Like she does not. And I'm like, what? It was so profound to me in that moment. Like it inspired me. It filled my cup. And I feel like you not remembering it's like the spirit in you, even though you don't remember, she remembers it very vividly.
Oh, listen.
She's, like she remembers. She held on to it. I felt that so deeply when you said that.
I still use those very techniques. And not to say that counseling didn't help, because I needed counseling and it certainly did help. But there were those genuine things that you taught me, especially the part about, listen, Therase, listen to me now.
Listen.
If you don't get a hold of it,
that's the part I knew you were going to say.
Get a hold of you. And listen, when she said that, all I could think was, girl, you better grab it. You gonna go crazy. If
it clicked.
And
that's so good.
It just, I still talk about it to this day. And
that makes my heart smile.
Mine too. I'm trying to figure
I know.
out. Okay.
Every now and then when I text you,
control a little bit here.
if I text you and I say to you, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, you do.
I probably had a moment. And I was in that moment of being grateful. There are not many people that come into your life that mean a lot to you. We know a lot of people, don't we? Don't we know a lot of people?
Yes.
We know a lot of people.
Yes.
We know a lot of people alike. And we're in some of the same circles. And we have some of the same support. However, it's that genuine part of life that matters to me the most.
Me too.
Here's what I love about that. So she said that she may text me and say, thinking about you, because she was going through a moment. But you don't know what me hearing thinking about you meant to me in my moment. So I love that 360. Like, God's a 360 God, right? Like, I love that. You may have been thinking, wow, grateful for Davia, because I just had this moment when I remember something she said that got me grounded. And I'm thinking, I am feeling unseen. And I'm
oh, my goodness.
And suddenly I get a text from Therase that says, thinking about you. I love that. And that comes from freedom, from authenticity, for not being afraid to share your stuff.
Yes.
And even those people that are there, people that are in our circle that will see this conversation.
Oh, my goodness.
And there are many, as this is growing, that are not in our circle that will see this conversation, that will think about their own circles. And that is why this little conversations in my basement, y'all, is my passion. Because I get to see, sometimes I can't wait to see what heaven does with it. But that people connect to an authentic story. I knew we kind of were going to talk about anxiety, but I said, I don't know what the first question's going to be.
You said that.
We're just going to have a conversation, because people always ask, how do you know what to ask? I'm like, I do not know what to ask. Yeah. I do not know what to ask. And it just happens.
You said, and you looked in the camera and you said, this is not me being my professional self.
Yes.
Although that is not what's happening right now, this is therapy.
So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So
this is therapy.
One of the reasons why I was so excited, Davia, to come on your podcast, I've been waiting for this opportunity. I am so honored, honestly, to be here. Oh, wow. After you interviewed my best friend, Dr. Laura at Speedbell, and it seems that's right. And so that's how I met you in that space, right? Yes. And she connected us. She said, "This is somebody you need to know." Yep. I think you guys should connect, and I feel like that's therapy. When you are able to be connected to like-minded people and people who, because research says that we're all really just craving healthy connections, right? Just healthy, real connections. And it doesn't happen all the time. And so like you said, to your point, you guys know a lot of people, you're in a lot of circles, but that doesn't mean that you have a lot of friends that you can be vulnerable with. Support. Or that you just feel safe sharing certain things with. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what's therapeutic, is when you have that support, those sisters and those people that you can call and be like, I'm struggling with this. and you know that it's safe. It's not going to go anywhere, and they're going to give you some encouraging words. They're not going to judge you, and you're going to be able to take that information and be like, I'm not crazy. I'm not.
And that part about I'm not crazy is when I first called her, I said to her, can I tell you something? And she said, you can tell me anything. And that's when I started to tell you about what I was going through and seeing two of things and, feeling like I'm going crazy, but you not judging me and saying, no, you're okay. This is how you fix this, though, before it gets you.
I think when I say that before it gets you, I think it's before it becomes who you think you are. Before you get stuck in that space of feeling in that moment, in that car accident, you felt powerless. You didn't know your body's going through, your kid, your grandbabies are in the back. Like, before you get stuck in those thoughts that you have nothing you can do, that you're at the risk of the universe, right? I think that's what I mean by getting a hold of you.
And they were fine afterwards.
Yes,
it was me who, began to experience, and because of that accident, I can now recognize when I'm in a stressful situation that is bringing me anxiety, and I'm able to understand and deal with it in that moment.
Yeah.
In that
That's
moment.
So good.
I carry a little thing of organic peppermint with me also. I learned that organic peppermint is a calming thing. And so, quite frankly, my oldest son, Michael and Zoe's dad, is the one who told me about the peppermint. And I take the peppermint and I put it under my nose. And sometimes I take a little bit and I put it on my tongue. And I just kind of breathe in. And it helps to relax me.
It connects you to your senses.
And I had no idea. Of course, I didn't really believe it at first. I got to go look it up and read it and see, is it true? And it's true. It does help. And so along with those techniques of, learning how to breathe, count to 10, all that, and then call you back in a couple of, she said, call me back in a couple of days and let me know how that's working. And by God, it's working. It worked.
Because you're not crazy.
Because you're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
So,
Yeah.
You're creating an authentic, creating a rational, authentic, zealous you. You're not crazy, except
not
in the best
crazy.
way. I love that. There's so many fingers where I'd love to take this conversation, and we might need to do a part B. I'm thinking about, talking more about the stigma. I'm thinking about what the body remembers. I'm thinking about the value of authentic community. I'm thinking about relationships. That my one of my passions is couples, right? That's where I do couples counseling, and I think that some of the struggles we have in our romantic relationships is that we think they're supposed to be all the things. Marry your best friend.
Oh, talk about that.
Right?
Please
There's a lot
help
there.
me
That's too
now
much.
because
It's too much.
I'm a hopeless romantic.
That's why we have a community,
Listen.
right? I'm just saying we'll do one on that one.
I think
y'all,
we should.
But we're going to wrap this one up for now. And thank you both for sharing your stories, for entering into what I think is just a real conversation that I just know. I know in my knower that folk are going to be like, oh, so these functional people who have businesses and who lead processes and organizations and have families and marriages and all of that sometimes deal with crippling anxiety?
yeah.
Like what? So I do too, and that doesn't have to be a secret. That doesn't make me less me or less important or less lovable or less functional. No.
Nope. It makes you human.
It makes you
and I
human.
I hope that this conversation would lead to, folks that we know being able to, be okay and open up with their thoughts and feelings also.
It'll happen.
We
It'll happen.
We're just
they'll
regular
DM
people.
me. They may not
Yes.
make a comment in the public,
Okay.
but they'll DM me.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
I'll let you know that happens. I may not reveal the individual if they don't give me
We're just
permission to,
regular
but I'll let you
people.
know that happens.
Yeah.
We're just regular people. So y'all, we're gonna wrap this up for now. What do I do next? I talk about the drink.
Okay.
Well, a couple things I want to say is I want to be sure that they can connect with a crazy counselor. So tell me, what is your website so the folks can know?
So the Crazy Counselor website is www.thecrazycounselor.com.
And remember, that's an acronym.
It is an
Repeat that
acronym.
one more time.
For the Crazy Counselor stands for creating a rational, authentic, and zealous you.
I love that. And we didn't talk a lot about all of your pivots, how you moved from your executive positions and made some changes and retired from that. And now you're pouring into young people with your expertise, teaching high school business classes.
And it was more leadership role
Yeah.
versus executive.
Okay, yeah.
However, I'm executive.
Yeah.
Is how I think
That's your
about
function.
it.
You do. You do.
And so
Your community service is huge.
I am a servant.
You are.
And I love connecting with people, and most folks know how to find me, and I certainly know how to reach out to folks also.
All righty.
And so I'm looking forward to what the future has to hold, and doing my community work.
God's not done with you
So
yet.
I'm
Like I
so
told you in that moment.
I'm
Not done
excited
with you
about
yet.
it. A little bit nervous. I can't lie and say that I'm not. But
Your
I
dreams
am.
need to be bigger than you. They should make you a
I'm
little
certainly
nervous.
looking forward.
That's
to it.
exciting.
Yes. So.
All right. Well, I don't know. We've been moving through. At least I have my drink. I made us a blueberry lemon drop martini. So I made a little bit of blueberry simple syrup. This is 2 ounces of vodka, a little bit of Cointreau, some fresh lemon juice. What else did I do? Simple syrup. I think that's it. Garnished it a little bit. I think with Therase's, we lightened it a little bit with some lemonade. And it's just a refreshing, pretty summer drink. So cheers, you all.
Cheers.
Yes. Yes.
Gotta drink it. And cheers to you all out there. I know that you connected to something in this story. And I pray that it shakes some things up in your own life. All right? Peace. Until next time.